Welcome to another episode of Fight Stories. I'm John Moses, Tyler Morrison, all the way up in Canada. And today's guest, very funny comic. You might have heard him on Crank Yankers, Jim Florentine, everybody.
You know what I like about you, John? You don't put on a fake radio or podcast voice. It's the same voice. That's the way it should be.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't go, hey, welcome to the show. None of that shit. You're just just the same guy on and off stage. It's beautiful.
It's taken a long time to get to that.
No, when I first met you, I remember you opened for, you like were emceeing. I think you just first started out and you had these jokes about fat women. I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking... I remember you had some joke like, hey, fat ladies out there, put your forks in the air like you just don't care. I'm like, I fucking love this guy. I remember that. I still remember that joke. I'm like, who is this fucking guy? I love this guy. I want to hang out with him.
Yeah, it was me, you, and Joe Howard. I think we ate lunch. That was a good weekend. Many moons ago. Yeah. So we've had like a bunch of the Jersey guys on, and I feel like you're like one of the last holdouts. But I was talking with Levy, a couple of years ago down at his place, and he just you like were worked into a couple of the stories. Because I feel like you guys were fucking down south. I think he was, finished eating some, blue cheese out of some chick's asshole, and then like a melee ensued. Were you there for that one?
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure because Bob Levy had this thing at the end of his set. He'd go, "Hey, I want to eat blue cheese out of a girl's ass. I need a volunteer."
Right.
And hot girls would go, "Okay," and they would just jump on stage. I've never seen anything like it. And guys with girlfriends or the boyfriends or husbands go, "Yeah, go," and then they would go up there and they'd let them do it. I'm like, the stranger. And then I remember one guy getting really mad because I thought he probably thought he was joking. Like, there's no way this is going to happen. This is basically a sexual assault.
Right.
And the guy flipped out afterwards because Levy got right in there, and Levy he didn't care. He didn't care. He goes, some of them smell like a tire fire. I remember he goes, whatever. He goes, I had to do it. I committed to the bit. So the guy was furious afterwards. Was like fucking going crazy. Yeah. I'm trying to calm the situation down. I've always been the guy because I hang out with friends that just get drunk and say rude shit. I know after like a few drinks, it's going to get a turn for the worse. I always try to smooth the situation over. But how do I defend Levy, who just ate blue cheese out of this guy's wife's ass? Because the husband's probably hasn't been in there in years, or maybe never. And then some strange dirtbag drunk comedian on stage. In front of a whole audience.
It's so fucking preposterous. Even like to even suggest something like that is fucking beyond ridiculous. The fact that this happened over and over and over again is just like, what a crazy time in fucking comedy. And of course, like that, the whole Stern.
I don't think maybe there was like 2 nights out of 100 times I saw him do it where no one came up on stage. Always. And a lot of hot girls would come up. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So I just remember the guy going crazy and we were all trying to hold him back and the club owner and all that stuff. It was a mess. But that wasn't, it might have been a different time where he got in the fight where I wasn't there, but that was really close. And I was trying to reason with the guy. I go, dude, man, it's just his bit. He didn't really do it. But meanwhile, the girl's freaking all upset. She's got blue cheese all over her jeans. She's like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, the aftermath of that had to be unbelievable.
I just wanted to get out of there alive. We just got paid in cash, so I'm like, we're gonna get mugged in the parking lot. These guys probably got guns in their fucking pickup trucks.
Yeah, where was this? Like,
this was probably down like around South Carolina. I'm thinking,
right,
like Greenville, South Carolina. Where they're fucking locked and loaded, they're carrying.
Oh yeah. You're always a little more like a little worried to take it that extra step like down in those situations because you just don't fucking know.
And the guy had every right to beat Bob up. He had every, no matter what, he had every right to do that.
Yeah. It's actually amazing. It's amazing that there's no footage that is like out there living somewhere, but it is amazing that like nobody was fucking beaten within an inch of their life.
Now, there was another time, remember we did this gig in Staten Island, and this little guy was in the front. He wasn't a midget, but he was short. And Bob had all these short jokes. He's making all these jokes that he's a midget, just pounding him. It's killing. It's some fucking sleazy bar in Staten Island, mob run, whatever. So he just pounded the kid the whole time. After the show, the owner's paying us right in front of everybody in cash. He just pulls out a wad of cash. Here you guys go. Here's your money. Here's yours. And he gives Bob all the money. Bob's going to pay me. So I'm telling Bob, I go, Bob, don't put this cash out there. People are going to follow us out and kill us. He doesn't care. He's drunk. He's fucking probably did coke. So the little guy comes up. He's probably like 5 foot, 5'1". Yeah. He goes, hey, man, as Bob's got a hold of cash, he goes, hey, man, you owe me money. And Bob's like, what are you talking about? He goes, hey, Bob's like, I was just joking. He goes, no, you made fun of me your whole act. I was your whole act. I want some money. And Bob's like, get the fuck out of here. You're not getting any money. He goes, no, seriously, I want some money now. And he pushes Bob. And Bob's got a wad of cash, and Bob just fucking kicked him like a fucking karate kick, and the fucking guy went flying like 5 feet into a wall. His drink flew out of his hand, and then like 9 guys, I guess he had a bunch of friends, and the mob guys goes, go out the side door, go out through the kitchen, get out of here, and we just fucking took off. And I remember him just fucking karate kicking the midget guy and fucking flying into a wall. Like, holy shit, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Injury to insult.
Yeah. Bob is such a fucking loose cannon.
Yeah, especially when when he was drinking really heavy back in the day and stuff. So it was always, there could be a problem at the end of the night.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking great. What about anybody else you saw? I mean, like, how long have you been doing this for anyway? Comedy,
31 years now.
Wow. You see any other brawls?
I never gotten any fights. You figure, because I'll pick on people in the audience too. I'm pretty brutal on them.
Right.
I know one guy wanted to fight me because his girlfriend was there right in the front, and the girl just wouldn't shut the fuck up, drunk.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, I go, can you control your woman? I go, this is embarrassing for you. I go, look at all the other women, the women in the room. They're not acting like this. You know what I mean? I go, there are women out there that don't act like this. Go find one. And the woman left in tears. He's like, I'm going to fight you after the show. I'm going to wait for you outside. I go, really? You're going to fight me because your woman's out of control? I'm just trying to fucking calm her down and trying to give you advice. And then I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to fight this guy after the show. I said, all right, I'll meet you outside. And then he came out, he goes, dude, I'm sorry, man. I go through this shit all the time. I had to say that in front of my girl. She's in the car crying. So I was ready to fight the guy if I had to. I go, okay, I guess I'm going to fucking fight you.
Right.
Obviously, he wasn't that big, because if he was big, I would have just said, no way am I fighting him.
You got to take the high road when they're big. Yeah.
I was never a fighter for some reason. Like, I grew up in Jersey. All my friends were fighters and shit like that. I just never really, I got in a fight. Like, my last fight was like sophomore in high school.
Right.
Some kid, we had a disagreement, and we were friends, and we went in the woods, and everyone's around us, and I didn't want to fight him. He didn't want to fight me, but I'd always kind of try to avoid it.
Yeah, plus you're a bigger guy, so I feel like people probably size you up and like try to avoid it, right? Like, what are you? You're like 6'2", right?
6'1", yeah. But and I sell merchandise after a show, so that's where they could get you,
right?
And I've done, it's been pretty brutal with the crowd. So you'd think at some point some guy would want to fight me after the show.
Yeah.
I remember this one comic, I forget his name. I opened for him in like Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and after the show, he was selling shit, and I was just standing next to him. This guy came over and fucking punched him right in the face, because the guy was talking to somebody else. He goes, "That's what you get for fucking my wife." And the guy's just laying in the corner. The guy just walked out. The comic's laying in the corner. I'm like, "Dude, you all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I did fuck that guy's wife, so I deserved it." I'm like, "Okay, fair enough."
Yeah, that's a little different than just taking dealing with the heckler too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trade.
Yeah.
No, but I have an Irish friend of mine. I've known him since first grade. He used to bounce in New York City, right on McDougal Street, at a couple of those different bars, and he loves fighting. Fucking white Irish guy. He says right now his record in fighting, he's 300 wins, 18 losses, and 6 ties. He loves to fucking fight. He just because he's bouncing with all these freaking Navy guys coming in and just drunk. He loved to fight.
Yeah. My buddy's the same way. Irish dude, bouncer. I don't think he's up in the 300s, but I'm sure he's in the 60s, 70s.
He said one time there was like 6 Navy guys going to fight him and the other bouncer. And the other bouncer's like, "Holy shit, what'd you get me into?" And my friend Kevin just goes, "Just start swinging and don't stop." That was his advice.
Yeah, it's not bad advice. So what comics, other than Bob in like the heyday, do you feel, or even like, are storied to be like tough dudes? Like we know like Ben Bailey's had like Ben Bailey's a guy who you would never think is a particularly tough guy, but is, I guess he strangled a couple audience members. Is there anybody else that sticks out?
I think he strangled Jay Moore too, because over some bit that he thought that Jay stole back in the day at Boston Comedy Club. He had him up against the wall, strangling him.
I guess that must have been his move, because that was not the story that I heard about him having somebody against the wall strangling him. I think that was just an audience member.
Oh no, yeah, but no, it just definitely happened at Boston Comedy Club with Jay Moore.
Yeah.
And then Gary Goldman went after Kevin Brennan because Kevin Brennan was talking shit on him. This is only a couple of years ago.
Yeah. I remember the fallout on that one.
Yeah, so he went up choking him and throwing up a wall in the bathroom.
Oh, he did choke him.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so, and then I think Bobby Kelly went after Kevin Brennan because Kevin Brennan was talking shit, doing something with so Kelly went after him, threw his phone, and then had him up against the wall.
Was that after the Goldman thing or before?
It was after.
Oh, so it's like once they smell blood.
Yeah, and then Chris Red, the comic Chris Red, he slapped a cup of tea out of Brennan's hand. He said, "Keep my name out of your fucking mouth." So he almost beat him up.
Oh fuck, Brendan's just the guy to fucking.
Oh yeah, he loves it.
Yep.
And then Gino Piscate got knocked out by Pat Dixon.
Pat Dixon.
Saw that video.
Oh, I didn't even know that there was fucking video of that.
Oh yeah, there's footage of it in the bar. Him coming over, and Gino's like, "Hey man, what's up?" And you boom, and he's just like, "What the fuck just happened?" And Pat Dixon just walks out. That's the thing. Like, if you're gonna talk shit on people, it's like someone might punch you in the face.
We were just talking about that last week. There was like another comic who was talking shit and like raising his voice to another comic, and then the other guy popped him, and people were like, "Oh, come on, man, he was just talking shit." And it was like, "No, dude, like you have to realize that that's an option." Like you start talking about a fucking guy's wife or stealing somebody's material, and you got to realize, one day you could have to fucking pay the price.
Right, you're gonna fuck some guy's wife or his girlfriend or something like that. Some guy might come after you, and he's gonna fucking want to punch you in the face.
Hey, listen, there's a couple of guys out there I owe a free shot to,
Right.
And it ain't because I was talking shit about him either.
And that's the thing now. It's like you can't. What's that?
Didn't Chris Red get beat up by Keaton Thompson's goons?
Oh yeah, because he was dating his wife. Like they just got separated. Yeah, right outside the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it's like you're going to be assault charges. You could go to jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? It could be 6 months in jail just for punching somebody. Before you would just fucking take it and that was it. Like, all right, I probably deserved it.
Walk it off. Yeah.
I remember one time I was in a club. I have no idea why. I'm in my 20s and this big brawl start on the dance floor starts out. Just these two guys and they're fucking going, beating the shit out of each other. And we're all just standing around watching it. And for some reason, I still don't know to this day, I just jumped in and started fucking pummeling the guy on the ground. I didn't even know who he was. All my friends like, what the fuck they pulled me off. Like, what is wrong with you? I don't know why I did that. I just felt like I just fucking wanted to punch the guy. I didn't even know who he was.
Right. You were just drunk?
Yeah, just drunk and just, I might as well just pile on and start beating the shit out of the guy.
Yeah. Animal mentality.
Yeah. But Jersey always got in fights. And I'm friends with Joey Diaz, and Joey grew up in Jersey and he got in a ton of fights, either at the Comedy Store and shit like that. He'd throw guys up against the wall. I think he spit in someone's face. I forget who it was, but there's a lot of stories of that shit. But I was always trying to be the peacemaker, even when I go to like sporting events. Like I like the Miami Dolphins in football, and I'll go to a Jet Dolphin game. I never wear Dolphin shit because I know it's going to be a problem.
Right.
Someone's going to be, and my son who's 12, he's like, "Dad, why don't you wear this up?" I go, I'm not getting in a fight. I'm not going to get hit in the back of the head at the end of the game walking out.
Beer. Right.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it for me. I go, because I'm going to fight the guy back. Then it's, who knows what's going to happen.
Football is particularly insane with that shit. Like I'll go to a hockey game and wear a Leaf jersey. I won't do that in Philly, but like I've been in Boston and I've been like at the pisser and somebody's been like, and I got a Leaf jersey on and they're like, "Canadians are fags." And I didn't even turn around. I didn't even look at the guy. I was like, "You want to get knocked out by a fag, bud?"
Is that what you said?
Yeah. But I'm not, I'm not doing that in Philly, and I'm not going to football games. Like, remember that story a couple of years ago? A guy got tased. he was wearing like a different jersey and he got fucking tased by somebody in the audience who like brought a fucking stun gun in. They're insane there. It's
Yeah, I mean, it's just usually you saw that footage of a Ranger fan knocking out the Leaf fan walking out of the Garden last year, out completely cold.
Yeah.
Because the Leafs beat them in overtime, or I think it was the Leafs or somebody. I forget what team it was.
Yeah.
To Tampa, knocked them out cold. So that's just going to happen with alcohol and shit like that. So I don't wear anything when I go to these games. I'm like, I know the sports mentality. I know if you lose at the last second, they're fucking angry. And if you're the opposing fan in a different stadium,
they're looking for a target.
They're looking for you.
Oh, one of my favorite videos recently. Did you see when the Leafs were playing Tampa and they were all outside of the Maple Leaf Gardens and all the Leaf fans were watching and cheering them on, and Tampa won? I think it was in overtime. And right before that, you just see the one guy with the Tampa Bay jersey just take the jersey off and slide it under his shirt.
He did. That's great.
He was so smart. He timed it so well.
That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've always been trying to more to peacemaker and not get into fights. I don't feel like getting hit. I don't like getting hit. It's not fun, you know.
Yeah, I'll tell you, since I stopped drinking, I'm certainly given every opportunity to for people to get out of it and for me to talk my way out of it. But at the end of the day, if it's got to go down, it's got to go down.
Have you been in a lot though?
Oh yeah. I mean, mostly drinking. I haven't been in a fight in years. I haven't had a drink in 16 years. I haven't been in a fight in probably 10. But before that, I've got about a record of 14 and 15 and 14 and 15. Like
14 wins, 15 losses.
Yeah, or like 14 or 15 wins, 14 or 15.
All right, you're almost 500. That's fine.
Yeah. It's respectable. But most of that stuff, I'd wake up the next day with like my eyes swollen and be like, "What the fuck happened?" And then my buddy's like, "I'll tell you what happened." Yeah. So
you would get drunk. You would get drunk and get angry, and then shit would get down.
Exactly. We would go out. Me and my buddies would go out with the mentality to fight or fuck, and we didn't fuck that much. So, we ended up going. We'd be hating on somebody or just fucking drunk and wild.
Where did you grow up again?
Toronto.
Okay. Oh, you did. Okay, Toronto. Yeah. That I always knew going out on the road, especially when you're first going out, and you play some shit gig in the middle of Pennsylvania or some small town.
Yeah.
And then you meet some chick after the show. She's like, "Hey, let's go to the local bar. It's fun there after the because the comedy club didn't have was shutting down."
Yeah.
I always knew don't go there because there's a million guys in that local bar in that town that've been wanting to fuck her for years.
Yes.
And they've been trying and trying. They're still trying. And then all of a sudden she brings me in, this complete unknown. Oh, he's the comedian from New Jersey, New York. Oh, I'm going to get my ass kicked. So I always said, no, I'm not going. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah. Wasn't that
in the club if you can, where you're the king of the castle?
Wasn't exactly. Yeah. You don't want to go where the cape's off. Wasn't that a Dan Gyree story? He went and, with some chick to like the local bar, and then like the guy that they were with were just trying to be a white knight and ended up fucking punching him in the head.
I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
no, that will always happen. And sometimes there's a guy that they're seeing or they just broke up with, so they want to use you. They know he's going to be hanging at that local bar. They want to use you to go, "Hey, look, I got a new guy." I'm like, don't put me in the fucking middle of this.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're just oblivious to it. Like they don't even think that.
No, they know. They know what they're doing. They fucking believe me. They know.
That's why you gotta get the Ramada Lounge. No. Come back to the hotel lounge.
That's the best when the gig was in a hotel, because then you don't have to leave. Now the bar's open right over here. You never want to take them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Always keep them there. Don't ever go. All right, I'm going to go 20 miles to a bar in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
She wants me to take me there.
She sobers up on the ride. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, exactly. That long ride will kill them. 20 minutes in the car.
Yeah.
If they're not entertained enough, forget it. You're fucked.
Right.
Carrot turns into a pumpkin pretty quick.
You have to, because I lived in Jersey, like 45 minutes outside the city. So if I met some girl in New York, I had no shot of her sitting in the car, buzzed on a 45-minute ride on the way back to Jersey to my place. That wasn't never going to happen. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get a hotel in New York. I'll fucking find a cheap hotel, and because I knew there's no way she'll sober up. I want to go. Can you drive me back home? So
yeah. You got brothers and sisters, right?
Yeah, I come from a family of 7.
Oh, so what's the breakup? What's the breakdown there? More brothers and sisters, or like an even split?
Yeah, there's 4 boys, 3 girls.
Did your brothers all get into it?
A couple, but not really. Never
Really, huh? 4 brothers,
Yeah.
nobody was fighting?
I mean, a little bit when we were younger, we'd
Right.
fight with the neighborhood kids and shit like that. I got into little scraps when I was like 12, 13, just fucking around. But not really. I mean, they got a couple, but no, we were never really big fighters or anything like that.
Oh, really? It sounds like your parents were good people.
Well, we were completely out of control. I mean, I was a fucking terror as a kid. So my brothers just causing problems, wrecking shit. You know what I mean? Just
doing all the other shit that teenage boys do.
Going like the community pool we just went up there one night and fucking ripped off all the shingles on the roof, threw them in the pool, threw all the lawn furniture in the pool, broke bottles and threw them in. The pool was closed for like a week in the middle of the summer. We're fucking out of control. Pot plants, just throwing fucking dirt in there and shit.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know to this day.
Yeah. Just being fucking punks. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we go to Catholic school. Like I cut these wrestling mats up. They just bought. They were bragging how much they cost. Take care of them the first day when they with a razor blade and fucking sliced them all up. Why? I don't know.
Yeah. I was last night, maybe it was 2 nights ago, whatever it was. It was a fucking weeknight for sure. And I heard somebody had just started letting off fireworks at 11 o'clock at night. And like the dad in me gets pissed. You know what I mean? I'm like, you little fucks. Like, what about the fucking kids in the neighborhood sleeping? But then the little hell-raising teenage punk in me is like, yeah.
Of course.
I could still appreciate it and respect their fucking, just the general mayhem,
Yeah, we used to buy these blockbusters. They're a quarter stick of dynamite.
Yeah.
And kids in the neighborhood we didn't like. We blew up 3 mailboxes. We put them in their mailbox. The 3 people never even found their mailbox. It was just a metal stick. And I remember my sister was babysitting like 5 streets over and heard the boom in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just out of control with the fireworks. Absolutely.
Like the Looney Tunes, like when the firework goes and it's just like the fucking the charged stick after.
Yeah. I mean, we just have fights. We get like packs of firecrackers, just throw them at each other. It'd be like 3 of us, and bottle rockets, fucking light them and just keep throwing them at each other and shit.
Right. You must have did that up in Bracebridge, Ty?
Yeah, well, there's this one guy who was like, he was one of our friends' dads. I just found out he died like the other day, but this guy ratted us out for partying when we were in like 10th grade. So we just declared a jihad on him, and we would just like egg his house all the time. And it just got, escalated to fireworks, that type of shit being shot at him in his house. And I guess he like had enough one night and he went on a mission and he egged every one of our houses. Like he knew who it was and like had us all targeted. This guy's probably like, he must have been in his late 50s when he finally just decided enough. So he's got the balaclava just juicing himself up to come and egg all of our houses, and he hit every one of us and hit all the cars in the driveway.
That's so funny. He's older than your fucking parents, and he just goes. Oh God, that's like that's like an indie movie. You know what I mean? Like some fucking Napoleon Dynamite type of movie.
It was unbelievable.
Some 50-year-old loser.
He definitely, he had like a putting green in his backyard. And remember one of our buddies drove his car into the backyard and was doing donuts, ripping up the grass.
That's great.
It was bad. It got bad. I'm not proud of it, but it was pretty funny at the time.
Oh, yeah. Whatever. He's the target.
There was this one kid in our neighborhood we didn't like. That was the guy who blew up his mailbox. But I went over to his house, like, no, let's hang out. And I caught a fish. And I had this fucking dead fish. And they used to have those vents, those air conditioning vents were on the floor. So I went to one of it, like his sister's room, and I fucking opened the vent and I threw the fish down a little way. And the fucking, like a month later, his parents knocked on my parents' door saying that their house, they couldn't understand what the smell was coming from this dead fish. They didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And they finally found it. Someone came over and found the fish in it. They knew that of course I did it. And I denied it. I never did that.
Right.
Like dirty work.
Yeah. Were your parents like, what did they like? They probably knew that you did it, but were they like, no, he says he didn't do it?
Yeah, my mom was, believe me. I remember one time I had to swear on the Bible that I didn't cut those wrestling mats up at school. And she goes, okay, he swore on a Bible, so he didn't do it. I was fucking beautiful. So I told her like 30 years later. She was so mad at me. She's like, I can't believe. I go, yeah, of course I lied. Of course I don't care. You put your hand in a Bible, I guess so.
Yeah.
And Jim, you did a lot of like with crank yankers and stuff. You're like one of the best prank call guys. When I remember when we were like in high school prank calling people, we'd always try and get the kids' dad on the phone that we're trying to get in trouble. We'd fuck with them. And if you get the mom's always like, my boy would never do that. But if you get the dad, he's always like, what do you fucking do now? So you can like set them up to, actually come and meet you to deal with the problem, and then you don't show up. Or the best of the stepdads I found, they're like the best marks, because they would always try and like prove to the mom that they can handle the problem.
Right. No, we never did that shit, but I'm trying to think what we did. I know like I always had this deep voice even when I was in high school, so I'd call all my friends out pretending they're their father. Yeah, you can't make it in school, and we just hang out and at my friend's house. His mom would go to work, play cards, and drink all day. At like 14, we're fucking getting loaded, smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, drinking, and staying home from school. But I call all the this is Mr. Bondi. Tony won't be in today. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
And then we just fucking hang out.
I did that for my buddy, but I didn't realize the school had caller ID.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they were like, oh, this is the Moses residence. And I was like, shit. Yeah, Ken Moses. I'm his boss. And I got suspended the next day. And then when I went back to school, the teacher was laughing like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I love that fucking teacher. He was so cool.
Yeah, this is before caller ID. I'm
right.
And you. So yeah, they didn't have that. So it was great.
Yeah. You could get away with murder. And I didn't have that fucking deep voice at 16. I was like obviously a kid trying to impersonate an adult, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like if I was embarrassing because, as a comic, you're socially awkward. I'm sure you weren't you weren't the class clown. Fucking, we just sit there and just observe and fucking just rip everybody apart one-liners. But so when they call on me with this voice in class, Mr. Florentine, what's your answer? I go, yeah, it's probably 7. The whole class would laugh because my voice was so deep.
Right.
Embarrassing. Like, come on, Frog. And people in the hallway, just say something. I'm like, what? They're like, what's wrong with your voice?
Yeah. Well, at least you got to use your handicap for something good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember what about your sister? Sorry, I was just gonna say we were prank calling this one this lady, and we were pretending to be we were asking for her husband, and she's saying he wasn't there, and we're pretending to be a guy who her husband saved from a car fire. And she's like, my husband never said anything about that. And we're just leading her along that like, he's just so modest and he wouldn't take our reward that, the reward that I was trying to give him. And I just really wanted to thank him. And I finally tracked him down. We get a phone call like 20 minutes later. The woman's flipping out. I guess my brother forgot to do block the caller ID.
Yeah.
My brother he was so good at these prank calls. He'd be like, oh my God. He just starts getting mad. He's like, Bell, the phone company. He's like, Bell said they're gonna fix it. They said they're gonna fucking fix it. She's like, what? He goes, listen, lady, this kid, he's been prank calling everyone in the neighborhood, and our line keeps getting crossed with his. So our number's coming up on the call display. This is the kid's name. You need to call them. You need to call the phone company. His name's Kyle Thorpe. Kyle Thorpe's another kid in our town that we used to prank call.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
Under the bus. Yeah.
Rerouting it to him, rerouting the fucking trouble to him.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I had the cops where I had to go to court over a prank phone call. It was an incoming telemarketer trying to sell me something. I had my friend there, and I had my girlfriend at the time. And I pick up, and my girlfriend just starts screaming the whole time. And I had a vacuum going. The woman's like, what's going on? I go, my friend just gave my girlfriend a home abortion. They'll be fine. And she's like, oh my God. I go, yeah, I'm just trying to save a few bucks. He says he knows what he's doing. He's got a toolbox here. So whatever. He's got the vacuum going, but don't worry, just continue. What do you want to sell me? And she goes right back into a pitch. She's fucking horrified. And it's just screaming, a vacuum. I got an arm. It was awful.
I got an arm. Yeah.
I pulled an arm out. All right, keep going. Get the rest out. So it call us like 2 minutes. The woman hangs up. She's fucking horrified. We're laughing. Ha ha ha. Little did I know she had my address right in front of us. So she called the local police in my town.
Yeah.
And said that, something was going on. This woman screaming because
a woman's being tortured. Right.
Yeah. So we left the house for like 15 minutes. I was living with Jim Norton at the time too. Yeah. And I left the house. We all went to go get some coffee or something like that. I come back like a half hour later. My door is busted in. So like they thought there was someone bleeding in my apartment. No one was home at the time, so they kicked the door in. The cops. And they had 2 ambulances and EMS workers fucking flying down there too because they thought someone was bleeding upstairs. Kicked the door down, went upstairs, looked around, didn't find anything. Because I come home and all the neighbors are outside and the door is off its hinges. There's wood everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck happened? They go, oh, the police were here. They were looking for you. They said there was a woman upstairs bleeding. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh, she had my address. So I wound up going down to the police station. I go, listen, man, it was just a joke. I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
And they were so mad. They like, you think that's funny? I'm like, nah, I don't know what I was thinking, whatever. And they go, well, fill this thing out that you admitted that this is what it is. And then I got a ticket in the mail for disorderly conduct. I was facing 6 months in jail.
For a fucking prank call.
Yeah, because they got cop goes, you realize with these, the EMS workers, the ambulance traveling like 70 miles an hour down this 25-mile-an-hour road to get down here. If someone would have got killed, you would have been responsible. Because, and all the resources they had to do to get down there. So I had to get a lawyer and go to court over this and in front of a court. I never forget it. I was like the first case. It was packed, the court. And the judge is like, oh, you did a prank call where you pretended your friend was Jim. And he said Jim Norton. It wasn't Norton. Jim Norton was giving your girlfriend an abortion. You had a vacuum going and you could hear all the people in the court going, oh, like what a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm in court.
Yeah, oh my God, they fucking, it was the biggest groan I ever got. And he goes, so you think this is funny? And you're like on Comedy Central and you consider yourself a comedian? This is what you find funny? Because we worked it out with the prosecutor that I was going to plead no contest and pay a fine.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. Meanwhile, I'm biting my lip. I'm like, this is so fucking funny. I wanted to just yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah. And then he's like, all right, $750 fine, blah, blah, whatever. He goes, I never want to see you here again. And I had to walk. It was like the walk of shame through the middle of the court.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I walk by everybody, just look at me, you fucking piece of shit. What a loser you are.
Oh, God.
And when I got out front, I'm like, this is fucking great. Couldn't stop laughing with my lawyer.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's like walking out of the abortion clinic.
Yeah. That's got to be an animated story, man. That's got to be a fucking.
That's hilarious.
We did a hidden camera bit where there's an abortion clinic out like Allentown, PA, where we got like my girlfriend put like a fake thing like she was pregnant on, and we pull up in front of these protesters. There's protesters out there every Saturday morning, and I get out there. We both get out of the car. I'm like, get in there, get the fuck in there. She's like, I want to keep my baby. I'm like, get the fuck in there, or I'll take it out with a coat hanger. And these people are like, holy shit, no, and I go, get in there, leave her alone, get in there now. And I made her go in there, and I just peeled away. I'm going to park the car right in front of these abortion protesters.
Yeah. This is
they were afraid of me though. Like they were like, oh shit, I don't trust this guy. So they were trying to save her, but just screaming right in front of them.
Yeah. So nobody was being aggressive toward you.
I thought they were gonna. I'm like, all right, this could be a problem, but whatever. This is gonna be funny.
Right.
I said I got a coat hanger in the car if you're not gonna go in there, so we're gonna do it this way or that way.
Yeah. And nothing. It's fucking. Some of these things should be. This is like. Remember, it wasn't Comedy Central? Weren't they shorties watching shorties? Oh, but they were animating bits. It wasn't stories. But that court story could totally be.
It should be.
Could totally be fucking cartoonized.
I know. Just almost like a Beavis and Butthead, like trying not to laugh. My face is red.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what we change the topic. Like all these comics getting attacked on stage. What would you do? I mean, obviously you're gonna fight the dude, but you never know. Somebody can come at you.
Yeah. So I would.
And you're pretty abrasive on stage. You're not. We're not happy-go-lucky guys when we're stand up being you. So.
Yeah, I'm not talking. I'm not what's the deal with vanilla ice cream?
Ladies, am I right?
Yeah.
Women are smarter than men. Am I right, ladies? We don't do that shit. So, because me and you look like a guy that fucked them in high school and never called them back.
Yes.
And they still remember that. We're like, no, of course I love you. I wanted to go out with you for a long time. I liked you for a long time. I didn't think you liked me. Whatever you had to say, then fuck them and then just ignored them the next day. So we look like those guys when we walk on stage, like, this fucking guy reminds me of that piece of shit.
Or the person that made fun of them, or the person that fucking bullied them, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had like a couple of different instances, but one was in Staten Island where a guy was was talking shit, and he was like, "I'll see you after the show," and I was like, "All right, fine." But then there was another time in Boston where I blew town as soon as I got off stage, because there was like first of all, the guy who I was yipping back and forth with was bigger than me, but then more than that, I was like, I got a puncher's chance. But then more than that, he had like a crew of guys, and I was like, I'm fucking out of here. Like literally hightailed it out the club. But as far as like guys getting attacked on stage, if somebody even comes toward the stage, I'm taking that as a sign of aggression, and I'm gonna try and kick him in the head.
You have to, because you don't know what he's going to have. I mean, you don't know if the guy's got a knife or anything. So if he's coming, you got to go right at him, and don't be like, hey, hold on, what up?
No. Yeah, there's none of that.
No.
And I'm going to give plenty of warning. In fact, I've done that. Like there's one guy stood up, and there's audio of this on YouTube, but not video. But he stood up. I had roasted some guy fucking mercilessly for 8 minutes because he was a fucking terrorist to the show, a terrorist. For the show, it should have been over by the time I got on stage, and he had interrupted every comic that went on there. So I just did 8 minutes on him until he left, and the place loved me, including this guy whose wife was about to hate me. I did like a Me Too joke, and this was like, early, like Me Too. And she stands up with her arms crossed. I'm like, lady, this isn't a fucking protest. If you're not having a good time, get out.
Right.
So she's just standing there. So I start lighting her up. And then her husband, who's like an older guy, and he goes, "That's it. I'm gonna kill him." And I said, "Buddy, don't fucking do it. If you come up on this stage, I'm gonna kick your fucking head off." I go, "Just turn around and go." And he left. Like, so if somebody's before he comes to the stage, like I'm gonna give him, and I'm not saying that, there could be some guy who's got some training that, this is the moment that he's been waiting for, and I'm in trouble. But I'm certainly gonna fucking throw a shot. I'm certainly he's gonna know tomorrow that it happened. But I'm gonna give every opportunity for the person to not fucking, like, as he's approaching, unless he's running, I'm gonna be like, "Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Turn around. Go away. You can leave. Don't do it." Because if you get on this fucking stage, we are 100% going to go.
Right. Yeah, man. You never know. I mean, I'm lucky that it hasn't happened. I figured it would. One time Levy's we're doing this club in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, mob run. And there's a guy in the front with his, mobster. He didn't know, with his younger fucking girlfriend, not his wife. And Levy just ripped him apart the whole show.
Yeah.
So the guy wanted his name. He was going to kill Levy, actually kill him. So he's telling the owner, "I need that guy's name. I'm going to fucking send a crew. We're going to kill him." The club owner had to call Levy. Go, "Listen, it was a Saturday. It was Friday night. He did that." He goes, "You cannot come back to the club because this guy, I had to fucking calm him down. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do the Saturday night here. And this guy really wanted to kill you, and I got you out of this. So just fucking stay home."
Right. The weekend's
that bad. Yeah, the weekend's over.
Right. Yeah. And I've never been down that road, but but I'm sure there were some close calls.
Yeah, like I've had a couple after the show. When I was younger, more, I haven't fought for a long time. I've been a good boy, but the closest I came to it the last couple of years, there was one guy. I guess there was this chick in the crowd. I don't even know what the joke was, but it just triggered her. It set her off. And I just see at the end of my set, these people are getting up and their, feathers are ruffled a little bit, but no one was yelling anything at me. And I just close out my set. I wasn't even headlining. The guy who's closing it out comes up and he's doing his set. And then there is a problem at this table still. And he goes, "What's going on here?" And this guy just stands up. He goes, "There's a woman out in the lobby right now crying because of something that last comedian said." And so the guy who's headlining, he's like trying to smooth things over. I guess the wife and the husband got into a brawl in like the lobby, and like the hotel security had to come and break it up. And this guy who was pissed off was at their table. He's a pretty big dude, and you could tell he's like one of those like a blue collar kind of lifer.
Yeah,
where he's going to be a tough fight.
He's got that 9 to 5 rage.
He wanted to scrap, and so the guys on the show, they're like, "Hey, let's get the fuck out of here." And I'm like, "Nah, you know what? Like, if I have to fight, I'll fight the guy. Like, you guys can go." And I was just chilling, just waiting to see if he came over and said anything. And then his and starts apologizing, buys us all beers. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
If we had taken off, we wouldn't have got free beers. So
I think usually, like if you're when they're like to the point where they want to fight you, it's either they're super fucking drunk or you're touching on a little truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you're fucking you're cutting a little close to the bone. You know, maybe they're having a tough go. Maybe he just cheated. Maybe he just lost his job. You know, she is a pig.
Right. Or she just, he's trying to stick up for his woman because you just put her in her place.
Yes.
Yeah. There was one I thought I was going to have to fight the husband. There was two couples sitting. This is in Windsor, Ontario, and they're sitting up near the front. And the chick is just smoking hot, and she's yapping out. But she's not being, trying to be fun part of the show. She doesn't like me, and she's not used to not having the attention. So I light her up, and I'm not closing this one. Is me and Rob Mayhew. You know Mayhew, John?
Yeah.
He's Mayhew's gonna come on after me, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to like ruin the show near the end of my set. Like, I'm just gonna put a little bow on it and get off, right? So I close it out, all right, everything's fine. And it didn't have like a backstage. You got to walk down like around the curtains, and you walk up the center aisle of this venue. So I'm coming like through the curtains and walking around, and I just hear her go, "Yeah, get off the fucking stage, buddy." And I'm coming around the corner. Now I'm right in the crowd. I just go, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." The whole fucking place starts cheering, and I walk right through the center of the fucking crowd. And so I go back. I'm like, okay, I'm wearing like a sports jacket, whatever. I'm like, I'm probably gonna have to fight this girl's husband now. So I go up and I get like changed into like my regular attire. I come back down, and I'm just sitting there. And the longer the show goes on, I'm cooling down a bit. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go sit at the bar upstairs, so I'm available if this guy wants to fight. But I'm not gonna sit in the very back, like at the merch table where he has to like walk by, and it's automatically gonna be on. Because the husband was laughing at the whole show. I felt like he's probably a nice guy, and like you said earlier, Jim, like the guy probably deals with it all the time.
My line always is, I have a feeling, sir, this isn't the first time she's acted up when you've been out.
Right.
Because it isn't. I've dated girls like that where it's like, oh, fuck, this is going to be a problem. I got to try to put this fire out now.
Oh, man. I was dating this one chick. She was such a drunk. We went to go see George Clinton, and she was fucking so wasted. We got kicked out during the opening act. And I was like, fucking bitch. So somebody's dating that broad now, and it's been going on a while, I was doing this show in Worcester, Massachusetts. Like, this was early, and it was just like a room, and there was a chick who just wouldn't shut the fuck up, big chick. And so I start lighting her up, and she was wearing a big shirt. And I said, I didn't know Kool-Aid made lemonade. And dude, at the end of the show, she fucking came over to attack me. So I'm roasting her as I'm running away from her, like in this in the bar area. So she catches up, and she fucking winds up to slap me in the face. And my little brother was there, so I pulled him in front, and she connects with him. And then I run out the front door and jump in the car. That was the last show there. They closed that. They stopped doing comedy shows at that stage after that.
That's a rough area, Worcester, Mass, man.
Yeah.
Good thing it wasn't one of the comedy clubs with the brick wall in the back. She would have busted through the fucking thing.
Yeah. Worcester's got a lot of. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a little cleaned up now, but a bunch of halfway house looking type of people,
Yeah, those crowds were always rough there. I remember going up there like, oh, it's Worcester. They're fucking animals.
Yeah. Yeah, but then again, those are my people.
No, I love them. Absolutely. I love tension in the crowd. I love it.
Yeah.
I think this last week, this woman right in the front was talking. Her husband was right there. I go, will you stop interrupting me? I go, sir, could you please? Could you do something here? And it's just, and the whole crowd's like, oh, and I go, you guys understand. I love this. I love this tension, and I just, I don't mind it. Like, and I just want to make it really uncomfortable to let them know that this woman go, maybe it's me.
Yes.
And the husband's just going like this. Cause I go, yeah, I know you've been through this before. I get it.
That's what this just happened over the weekend. And like, this guy was just a fucking nightmare of a crowd member. And it was the dude, little dude. Let me clarify. So it was the dude that was the problem, and he was just sitting with the woman, and you could tell she was just fed up. And I just went up and I go, "How about you, ma'am?" I go, "How about you? How are you doing?" Because we always deal with the nuisance, but nobody ever checks in on the person they're humiliating.
Oh, that's great. That's
It's like, "How are you doing?" She's like, "I'm okay." I go, "This happens a lot, doesn't it?" She's like, "It does." Yeah.
No, I have friends like they got like that limit of maybe 6 beers or 6 drinks, and then they turn into an asshole. So you got to get them out of there before that happens.
Yeah.
You know, so you just go, okay, it's going to take a turn for the worse. Let's go. Let's get them out of here.
That's why, I mean, you know, I quit drinking a long time ago, but that was the problem. I would have like 2 or 3 beers and I would go on stage, and that was the fucking magic zone. But then, you know, somebody would run long, or I would have got there early, or somebody get a guest spot, and then 2 or 3 beers turns into 4 or 5 beers, and then I'm just like a fucking belligerent asshole on stage.
Right.
You know, so I'm belligerent enough.
And those are my favorite sets, watching a comic just fucking yell at the audience and angry. Like I'd always watch loving Nick DiPaolo, like working sets in the city. The first joke, if it doesn't work, "You liberal cunts, what do you fucking know? You fucking hate you." And then the next is have like a meltdown on stage. Next joke works, the next one doesn't. "You see, you fucking Oprah loving fucking fags." I just go, "Nick, you don't understand. You're having a meltdown on stage. It's just amazing to watch."
Yeah.
He's like, fuck them. That's great.
Yeah. You know I love fake gangsters too. Like I love calling guys on their shit. But apparently, the one of the owners out of Governors, like those guys aren't fucking fake gangsters. Like apparently those guys are the real deal, or at least a couple of them. I'm sure a few of them, you know, act because like they feel they're under the protection. But then I think DiPaolo had like a story about going too far out there, and like one of the fucking guys pulling him off. And DiPaolo's not a fucking little dude, man.
I don't know that story.
Yeah. This has been confirmed.
No, Nick, I know he punched somebody in Boston and broke his hand, a heckler.
Oh, fuck.
That was coming to the stage. And then at like Levity Live, probably like 4 years ago, some girl daughter was there with our father, and she punched Nick right in the fucking eye when he was outside doing a meet and greet.
Oh, yeah. That happens to me. I'm making her dad pay the bill.
Right?
You did this to him.
Yeah. I was in Jersey, and some girl was just lipping off in the front row, and I was telling the guy, I'm like, "Dude, handle this, because it's going to be me and you." You know, at the end of the day, these aren't fucking comedy clubs. There's no security. You know, I'm the fucking biggest guy in the bar. Like, there's nobody coming to save me. So I'm like, "Dude, handle this, or it's going to be fucking your ass." And then we go outside, and she starts yipping again. But she's like lunging at me a little bit. And I'm just looking at him. I'm not even looking at her. I'm looking at her. I'm like, "Buddy, get her out of here. Get her out of here before it's me and you on the fucking street."
Right.
You know, and then finally, and he's in a weird position where he's got to like not listen, like show that he's not listening to me, but also he's got to get her out of there before I kick the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
So
he's got to pretend like he's you know, defending his chick, but meanwhile he's like, "Look, I don't want to fight with this guy. I know whose fault it is. It's hers."
Exactly.
And he's going to catch the shit on the way home. "Why'd you stick up for him? You let him talk to you that way.
Right.
He was so rude to me. You didn't even, you know, that kind of shit."
Right. But you might as well do that without a broken nose.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
They have like the comedians in cars getting coffee. I'd like to have a show where it's like people who've just been lit up by comedians driving home to get their conversation.
That'd be,
that would be a fucking money show. Fucking asshole. cut to the clip of them getting fucking destroyed and being assholes, and then right to the fucking back to the car.
Oh yeah.
That comedy club in Florida, Side Splitters in Tampa.
Yeah.
I was there 7 times, and 6 out of 7 times someone had to get dragged out of the room in the middle of my show by the bouncers. And the owner's like, "It never happens. It's just with you." I go, "Come on." I go, but the last couple of times I've been there hasn't happened. But just in the middle of the show, they wouldn't leave, and just getting dragged through tables, through the aisles, all the shit, drinks are flying all over the place. They're screaming at me.
Right. You're like, this never happens. It's just with you. It's like, this never happens to me. Anyone else, man.
I always have the same stock line. I let it unfold. I sit on the chair. I don't say one word. And when they're out the door, I go, I hate when my dad comes to the show. Or I hate when my mom or my sister comes to the show and it fucking kills every time.
Yeah.
I just wait it out. I just
Yeah. It's perfect. All right, buddy. Well, I think we've exhausted it.
All right. I wish I had some more fight stories for you. But
No. We covered it. I think we covered it. And I like third person tellings of fight stories that we've already had. Like Bob told about the midget kick, but it's much more colorful coming from a
I'll
third
never
party.
forget it. He had a fucking pile of money in his hand. The guy's like, give me some of that. You owe me.
Yeah. Cool. This thing probably isn't coming out for 8 months, but other than like socials, what's coming up? Where should people go and find you?
Just go check out my podcast. Everybody is Awful. Comes out every Monday wherever you get podcasts.
Okay, beauty. Yeah. All right, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Dude, thanks. It was great seeing you.
Yeah,
thanks, Jim. It was awesome.
All right.